Good moto morning, beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of Kraken's Garage. Today on Kraken's Garage, we're going to discuss part 2 of Austin, Texas to Virginia on my Vespa 946, about 1,800 miles in the rain on a 155cc scooter. So let's get to part 2. Let's get cracking. Branch falls directly in front of me on the road. No time to stop on wet roads, so I jump it as best I can with the split second I had to react. The scoot shrugged it off. The branch was about 4 inches in diameter. I'm white-knuckled, I'm cold, I'm tired, I'm on fumes, I'm now jumping logs. Perfect. It just doesn't get any better than this. So I finally make it to the gas station. The scoot holds 2.2 gallons and it took 1.9 gallons to fill up. I asked the 𝕤𝕤𝕤𝕟 dude hitting on Honey Boo Boo at the next gas pump if there's a motel, and he said, sure, 2 miles up the road. And I'm like, cool. So I finished gassing up, put all my wet crap back on for the 14th darn time, and head to the hotel. Sold out. So is the other 3 around the same area. Gal says, let me call around, which was very kind of her, actually. I'm standing there dripping, and there's literally a pool of water where I'm standing in the hotel lobby. There are 2 rooms left at XYZ joint up the road, and hands me the phone. I'm trying to talk to the hotel and reserve this room. The phone starts squealing, and the gal says, well, it's from the metal snaps on my jacket. Undo that, and I finally... farting around with that, trying to get a conversation through, and I finally talk to the hotel and make a reservation. So I put my wet gear on for the 15th darn time, and I get on the freeway in the pouring rain. Visibility is horrific, and I find this place. I'm in the room, and I went to make a bourbon, and the ice maker is out of ice. Effing perfect. You know, when you go to hotels, there's always that one person that feels entitled to bring their cool and just wipe out the ice, and nobody else has any in the hotel. I'd like to Georgia Jack slap them. Okay, rant over on that. The upswing is I got my backpack back. I didn't run out of gas. Bella is a log hopping machine, and I'm safe and sound drying off in a hotel. So day 4, 369 miles. Total cumulative miles, 1,364 miles total. First, some random shots. Rocky Run Furnace was absolutely fascinating to check out. Stopped in this old mom and pop shop, and super old school with pop bottles on ice and a cooler. It was kind of cool. I pulled into the first overlook and decided to check it out. There was a lot happening. It had just started to rain at this point. Here's a short 9-second clip of the sounds of the river. For me, it was a surreal moment with all the hustle and bustle to get here, just to hear nature doing its thing. A little further down the road, there was a cool kayak area with an obstacle course and paddling upstream, side to side to go through all the gates. Lots of folks enjoying the river today, despite being overcast. I cross over into North Carolina, came across this and pulled over to take a picture. Size matters, right? It's not the size, it's what you do with it, so I've been told. So I know I'm getting close. So at this point, I'm starting to get heart palpitations. I'm like, my God, but if you take a look at that picture, look at the skies in the background. Then the skies open up and it's getting really bad. I navigated the bad weather till I just didn't feel good about it and took the next exit. It happened to be a McDonald's in a gas station. Look at that water pouring off the awning over the pump. I traversed 6+ inches of water in some areas, accumulated on the road in many areas. It was just unbelievable. This picture is my Eric's fun meter is pegged look, which I thought was kind of funny. Things lighten up a little bit, so I decide to venture on like an idiot. This is where I should have thrown in the towel and just gotten a hotel room. It's 4:30 p.m. and I find the Welcome Center, which is open till 5 p.m. Yep, locked up and no one there at 4:30 in the afternoon. Perfect. I take a couple of pictures and I start creeping north on the Blue Ridge Parkway, drizzling but not real bad. First overlook, Bull Creek Valley, kind of cool. Elevation 3,483 feet. And the sceneries are just beautiful, but you know, you can only take so many pictures of these overlooks because after a while they all start to look the same. The tunnels are just phenomenal. They're just a work of art, the stonework on them. I thought that was notable. And this overlook is where I left my backpack. I love this photo with the sun kind of peering through the clouds and the sun rays always going down. I was always told as a child, when you see that, somebody has passed away and that's their soul going to heaven. I don't know. So when I finally made it to the gas station, it took 1.83 gallons of fuel, paid a whopping $3.27 per gallon, which was $1.50 overpriced at the time. With that said, I was happy to find it. The weather is supposed to be worse tomorrow, so we'll see what life brings tomorrow. So I get into the hotel room and I start looking at the weather. This is what's headed my way. You can see that huge band headed right for me. Even if I just stay put for the day, it's supposed to get worse tomorrow. So in my infinite wisdom, I decided I'm going to try to outrun that storm and stay ahead of it, maybe pick up the Blue Ridge Parkway further up. Better to enjoy it another day than to have another day like I had that day. So day 5, 411 miles, a cumulative 1,775 miles. So I wake up from the overpriced flea bag motel that I was happy to get last night, hoping for a better today. I check the weather and there's a nasty front coming, so I scratch the Blue Ridge Parkway, load up, and try to outrun the storm. This tale has gone from Stop and Smell the Roses tour to War the Roses tour to Run Forest Run. The scene from the hotel, note the nice wrecked cars all lined up out front. So I start blasting down the freeway to beat the storm as best I can on a scooter. I pull off in Galax, Virginia for gas, and it was about to get real nasty out. This is what I've been riding in for the last 200 miles, and it started lightning and thunderstorms. I mean, booming. I'm out, so I took the next exit. Decided to wait it out a little bit. And here's a couple of pictures from that stop. So I sat this one out for a bit and got a bite to eat. Nothing but gross food here at a quick stop. So I slammed a Red Bull and a chili cheese dog. After about 45 minutes, I see a pocket in the storm and I suit up to punch my way through the storm and find this pocket, and I finally get to it and surf that for quite a bit, missing the really nasty weather. This pick was the next gas stop in Salem, Virginia. I roll up to my family in Front Royal to seek shelter and warm up as the temps were 48 degrees Fahrenheit or 8.9 degrees centigrade. Factor in soaking wet, terrible winds, and the wind chill factor, it sucked. The bad news is about using the app Glimpse I had mentioned earlier is that your family knows exactly when you're pulling up. So here's a short video of my arrival.
Here comes Cletus. The adventure is over. He is home.
Man, am I glad to see you.
What the hell is this?
It's your welcoming party. We've been waiting.
Your trip was essentially over, but I'll pad my stats a little more when I make it home to Spotsylvania later today. Total miles on the odometer, 1,784. Total for the day, 407.6 miles. So at this point, I'm in the home stretch after I had gotten a decent meal and at my sister's and packed up and started to head home. I will finish up this Fireside chat. I just rode home from Front Royal to Spotsylvania, roughly another 78 miles. And you know what? It wasn't raining for a first time in what seemed like ages. It was darn cold, but no rain. First, a few pics from my favorite spots on the way home, and a couple of scenic trips as I start to work my way home. And I finally get home and Bella is being introduced to a project I was working on, my XR 1200. Stats, 1,862 miles on the clock. I rode 1,825.1 miles. I averaged 49 miles per hour. It was 36 hours total driving time, maximum speed 72 hours. Day 6, 78 miles, 1,853 miles total. Yeah, I'm a numbers guy. The nav is showing a little less. I didn't use it to venture out for supper when I was making those stops along the way. Max speed 72 miles per hour, average speed 49 miles per hour, seat time 36 hours, 23 fuel fill-ups, average miles per gallon 60.8, best miles per gallon 74.9, 31 gallons of gas burned, total fuel cost $89.49, average fill-up $3.89, average price per gallon $2.87. Here's a couple of pics that are on an app that I use to track it all. And here's some amazing moments from this amazing journey that was a disaster. After about an hour after I left the dealership in Austin, I was riding along with traffic and there was this old fellow on the side of the road selling watermelons. As I passed by, he made eye contact with me and his face lit up like a Christmas tree. He had the greatest smile, so he waved hello to me with such enthusiasm. I don't know what provoked it, but it was a warm fuzzy for me. Somewhere on I-10, I saw my first armadillo. It was roadkill, tango uniform, tits up, but it was still the first one I'd ever seen in my life. One of many I saw in Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. I also saw my first bluebonnets. Somewhere on I-10 just went on and on. I saw a turtle crossing the road. I said to myself, damn it, turn around, and so I did and ran across I-10, one of the most treacherous freeways I've ever seen, fetched him and gave him a fighting chance in life. A fella can never have too many karma points banked. This was one of 3 turtles I saved on this trip. No, I'm not a tree-hugging kind of guy, but I felt compelled. I met many folks I'm proud to call my friends, many Twinkies, or that's an Ericism, or young gals that felt the need to film me or take a pic of me riding down the road. I'm quite sure on a couple of Facebook pages being laughed at by other twinkettes. I gave each and every one of them a hearty wave. The euphoria of traveling almost 2/3 of the U.S. on a small scooter, I'm overwhelmed with pride and self-satisfaction. Words cannot describe. An experience that I have had many times on a motorcycle, but doing so on a scooter was empowering. In Mississippi, I'm scooting along and 2 Harley riders rolled up next to me, full pirate outfits, jackets with no sleeves, tats showing, had their best mean look on their face. Riding next to me, I look through my iridium blue visor. I nod my head a couple of times with approval and give them the metal death horns. They both busted out laughing and gave me a thumbs up and motored on. In my mind, they get it. A man on 2 wheels in the wind is what it's all about at the end of the day. I figured I would get a lot of questions on this trip as it unfolded, so I printed up some business cards on my PC that directed them to the threads that I was posting this ride report on and others on different forums I haunt. Many watched to follow along the journey, and it was really a slick way to share the information. By the way, I ran out of business cards to give out after I printed 50. Barber Museum, go, enough said. The mighty Vespa proved to be stone cold reliable and not once hiccuped or skipped a beat. Guisto. Glimpse. I'm not going to get long-winded on this topic, but what a joy to share my trip virtually and in real time. I do this for a couple of reasons. For safety, as I figured there would be quite a few people, viewers, that knew exactly where I was at and should I need help. Many folks wrote me saying, hey, my brother's dad, mom, or uncle lives right there. I know in my heart they would help reach out if I needed it. What Glimpse manifested into was a whole different animal. On average, 130 to 150 viewers tracking on my journey. They seemed to really enjoy being in the know in real time and somehow made my ride report more compelling. My loved ones adored being able to know where I was at, and it gave them a little peace of mind in a small way. It's a free app, don't leave home without it. So that was all the cheers. Let's talk about the jeers. The lion's share of this trip was in the pouring, driving rain. We can't predict this stuff, so all you can do is adapt and overcome, which I did. Mother Nature pounded me and Bella 3 of the 5 days I was on the road, which drastically cut into my miles per day I wanted to achieve of 500, leaving lots of time to explore the Blue Ridge Parkway. Canceling the whole Blue Ridge Parkway, this was heartbreaking for me as I hammered through so many areas I wanted to explore and didn't have the time. So in a way, I put all my eggs into one basket only to have Mother Nature smash the basket. Food, I rarely got to enjoy a nice meal as by the time I got to the hotel there was not much near for restaurants. I'm sure I'd reply differently if I had gotten to ride the Blue Ridge Parkway. Bear in mind, it was also raining pretty much every time I stopped at a hotel and I didn't want to venture out in the rain to get too far to get supper. On the last leg of the trip, it was just drizzling over and very windy. I got behind this one semi that I swear veered off the road onto those rumble strips that had water pulled up in each of the divots, throwing spray on me. If I'm lying, I'm dying. This happened to me 50 times. I could have slapped the guy. The Fleabag Hotel, the next room over, a dude was pounding his girl in a good way, if you know what I mean. The bad is that the headboard backed up to my wall, and it's slamming the wall. It's just super annoying. So I banged on the wall and yelled out, hey, move the bed back a little or hurry the F up and have a happy ending. My scooter and I are trying to get some rest. I heard a soft conversation. They both busted out laughing, so I thought that was pretty funny. So in closing on this, if you made it this far, you're a better man or woman than I am. It was an epic journey. It was a rotten journey on many levels, but it was a very rewarding journey for me. So that concludes part 2 of this journey. That was an epic journey. A few footnotes. When you look back on your life, let's say you're laying on your deathbed and you're reflecting on your life and you remember all your epic journeys. Many of them I won't remember on my great big bikes, but this one I will remember the rest of my life. And I'm glad I took the trip despite the outcome of this trip. Never let anybody tell you you can't do something. Don't let anybody stop you from your greatness. Go and do it, make things happen. You will have an epic life and epic memories and stories to share with others. I hope you enjoyed today's story. There's my ghost dog, Daisy May. She's here to remind me to wrap up this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you want to see more in the future, hit the subscribe button right down there in the corner. And remember, folks, go riding because it's good for you. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.